Yeah, another big result from the UEFA Nations League qualifiers. Spain beating Germany 6-0. Yeah, it's correct, 6-0. Ferran Torres, the Man City winger, getting a hat-trick. And in the South American World Cup qualifiers, of course, which you can catch all season long on SportsMax, Ecuador were leading Colombia 4-1 at halftime. 4-1 at halftime. It's in the 76th minute. It's still 4-1. You can get the full review of all these games in the show on Wednesday, so don't miss that, all right? So that's for football. We continue with cricket, though, because reforming Cricket West Indies for improved on-field results. That was the topic under discussion at the 20th Sir Frank Worrell Memorial Lecture held virtually on Monday. The president of Cricket West Indies, Ricky Skerritt, delivered the keynote address. Skerritt said he believes that most regional administrations and directors, or administrators and directors, are aware of the need for strategic change and governance reform. He admitted that Cricket West Indies needs to reform on all fronts to get good returns on investment on the field of play. To that end, Skerritt said he had further developed his 10-point Cricket First plan, remember that from the campaign, into the West Indies Cricket First philosophy. According to him, the Cricket First philosophy is the player-centric guiding star around which CWI's values, decisions, strategies, and actions must revolve going forward. Is also the foundation, Ricky Skerritt says, on which competence, confidence, continuous learning, self-discipline, and high standards are being built. Cricket First is the overarching approach which now forms the basis upon which Cricket West Indies plans and programs are being rebuilt. President Skerritt also detailed the declining and inconsistent performance of the West Indies in all three formats of the game over the past 20 years. 194 tests. He highlighted that of those 194 tests played by the West Indies in the past 20 years, the Caribbean men have won just 21%. Over the same period, the win percentage for the ODI teams is 32%, and the T20s 45% of games they have won. Skerritt also noted that over the same 20-year period, the selectors have given debuts to more than 150 players, and they've named 18 different captains. Skerritt also highlighted the high turnover rate of head coaches, some of whom he says spent very little time before they were either sacked or transitioned out, to give it a fancy descriptor. From Roger Harper in the year 2000 forward to Phil Simmons. Roger Harper, of course, is now the chief selector for Cricket West Indies. In between those two, Gus Logie, the Australian, Bennett King, David Moore, Hendy Springer. Almost forgot that Hendy served a stint as interim coach. John Dyson, remember him? David Williams, Otis Gibson, Stuart Williams, Stuart Law, Nick Pothas, Richard Pybus, and for the World Cup jaunt, Floyd Reefer. Yeah. Tino, the West Indies, Cricket West Indies president, looking to the past to talk about the future. He says Cricket First is the foundation on which he is looking to rebuild the reset of cricket in the West Indies. Does this look like something that can be successful?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a problem about going back to the past and stuff. I always believe that you got to look at where you fell down. Where we have been regressing, one should say, in the last 20 years, and then you got to look to propel the next 20 years and see where we are going. I think that at the end of the day, Ricky Skerritt, I served under him. He was my manager for about 2 years or so. He's a very confident person, someone that I respect and hold in high regard, of course. And, you know, he has a very good business head and a head that can lead West Indies cricket. That's why he won the presidency. At the end of the day, West Indies cricket comes first and foremost. And I'm just waiting to see how it goes. It's all good and nice when you write up good programs and stuff, but you got to implement it again, Georgia and Mariah. So I wish him all the best with him and his staff and vice president, beg your pardon, Shallow, and stuff. I think that they can do the job. I just hope that the players can buy into what they're proposing. And I just want to see fairness, equality amongst the players, and equal opportunity. And I just think that we can move forward as a nation, as a cricketing nation.
Our producer has given us some very good graphics to go with this segment, Tina. Let's go back to the graphic with the coaches, because I want you to look at these names. Yeah, you knew I'd take you there. Let's count them from Roger. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 coaches between the year 2000 and now, Tino. How many of those did you play under?
I played under Gus Logie, Bennett King, David Moore, right up to Gibson.
This tells a story.
And I can tell you this. Me personally, from my perspective, from what I've experienced, Otis Gibson by a long shot. It was a travesty to see him go the way that he went, but I always felt that the way that he interacted with the players, he interacted with myself and got me to the bowling, how he wanted me to bowl and buy into his strategies and his mindset. He is arguably the best West Indies coach I've ever played under.
But Tino, in the same breath, give me that graphic again, Mr. Producer. I want you to tell me the coach who was the worst, because you've highlighted.
Of course, Bennett King by far, Bennett King by a long shot.
Why? What happened?
King, I think for Bennett King, from my perspective, it was a cultural shock for him. I don't think he ever understood or wanted to buy in to the Caribbean mindset. He came with this mindset that I am from Australia, we do things this way, we're gonna run you in the ground. I remember losing a test match with a second team, basically, because some of the guys had strike. And we just lost the test match in Sri Lanka, and he gives us suicides right after the test match because it was a way of punishment. And then when I asked, like, hey, coach, what thanks it is? Me and Jabin Lawson just bowl 10 overs straight. I mean, 5 and 5 flat out. We were trying to win the test match. And then you give us suicides afterwards. And his reply was, oh, I'm trying to get you guys fitter. I said, you serious? And then you had a situation that when Bennett King was our coach, the opposition used to laugh at us.
What?
And say, wow. Yeah, I swear to you, can ask any player. The Sri Lankans, the Australians, everybody was like, why are you guys doing that nonsense? The Australians even said, he's not really a coach. Like, he's a coach,
wow.
Like, he's more a school teacher. There was, he did coach Queensland for a little period of time, but they did not rate him in Australia as no big coach.
Right.
And we gave him a big contract to run a whole team, and then you got guys like Brett Lee. Brett Lee was laughing at me and saying, oh boy, you should be a marathon runner. I mean, there's no problem in running, but there's a time and place.
Sorry.
And they used to actually punish us.
But Tino,
the rest are, oh man, it was horrible.
But Tino, so let me ask you again, and Mr. Producer, may you be so kind as to give us the graphic again. In your time, you're saying you started at the year 2000 from Roger Harper forward to Otis.
I kind of started in 03.
Okay.
Just at the end.
So say Gus Logie then. Say Gus Logie then.
Yeah.
All right, so Logie to Gibson. You notice the man with the longest tenure in that time was Bennett King.
Right, and then
and he dropped me as well. I remember I gave a story about Bennett King. I remember I went to Australia and sat for 4 test matches. And I just said, you know what, this guy is a real idiot. He called me to his room and I sat on his bed. He sat on his bed. I sat in his chair and he looked at me and he said, Tino, I'm gonna invest in you. and then he drops me. Serious, true story. I tell the guys this all the time. Like, this guy had no clue. And I even had coaches in Barbados saying that Bennett King set me back about 2 or 3 years on my bowling. This guy threatened me and said, if you don't bowl like Brett Lee, I am not going to pick you. I say, I'm not going to bowl like Brett Lee. I'm not going to bowl like an Australian. I'm not an Australian.
Yeah.
My bowling action got restructured from Wayne Daniel, and that is the action that I am keeping to. And he dropped me for like nearly 2 years. Bennett King, and then when he was finally fired, then I got 2 test matches on the Dyson. Then he got fired. Then I got dropped. So Mr. Skerritt is really, so I agree with Mr. Skerritt by bringing up all those graphics to show us that how we have fell down monumentously. We fell down hard. And the only way that we can go forward is if we see what we did in the past and we can structure our cricket properly to go forward.
Mariah needs to say something, and then I say something to close up. Mariah, you were saying.
No, I was just saying that those graphics tell a story, and I think Tino said it before. I could have said it.
Yeah.
You know, it tells a story. It shows us that first of all, you know, it's so easy for us to blame the players. But if look how many coaches have changed. That just changes your mindset. It comes like I tell Tino do something today, tomorrow I'm fired, and then you come in, George, and tell him to do something else. You confuse the players and you just mess up the system.
Yeah, Tino.
I want brilliantly said, Mariah. I'll tell you what, right?
Yeah.
I will be in a team meeting with Bennett King. Bennett King would say to me, Tino, we want you to bowl as fast as you can. We want you to be aggressive. We want you to bowl 95 miles an hour. We want you to bowl bouncers. We want you to bowl everything, but we want you to go on the tree. I was like, you serious? Like, coach, I can't get you, coach. Like, by the time I bowl a sharp ball, someone top edge it for 6. That's 6 runs already.
Yeah.
What you want me to do? You want me to bowl flat out fast?
To be so aggressive to go at less than 3 runs per over?
Yeah. So then,
what?
true story. And then when I argue with them, I was the person that I didn't have a good attitude.
You got dropped.
I got dropped. Yeah.
But Tino, as we leave the segment, and I can't believe that you're telling me that a coach wanted you to be ultra aggressive, but at the same time go for less than 3 runs per over. That's madness. Tino, I want to point something out to you. The graphic for the last time, Mr. Producer, for the last time. Tino, this graphic, I think, Mariah, answers the question. You hear the cricket fans in the West Indies who know cricket more than anybody else anywhere in the history of the world say we should give the job to a West Indian. Count the number of West Indians on this list. Let me count them for you.
Phil.
Roger Harper, Gus Logie, Henry Springer, David Williams, Otis Gibson, Stuart Williams, Phil Simmons, Floyd Reefer, and Phil Simmons again. So 9 of the 15 have been from among us, Tino Best. This answers the question that, look, it is not necessarily a West Indian who's going to lead us back to respectability. It's just a coach who, as you would say, understands the culture,
Definitely.
can adapt to the players, and can know good advice and can give good advice and not give bad advice, Tino Best.
Absolutely. And that trust, you got trust for players. Going through those names, right? I could give you so many stories I won't even elaborate on. Guys saying something to the coach, and then the coach telling the trainer, and then the trainer telling this body, and they get back to the board members, and then the board members say we should drop this guy is not committed. So you need that. You need faith in each other. You need that a player supposed to come to you and say something is wrong with him, and it doesn't end up in the boardroom. I think that's something that has crippled our cricket tremendously over the years.
Yeah.
And the only way that we're going to get rid of it is if we build some trust between the players and the coaches. And when things happen in-house, you keep them in-house.
Excellent. Thank you for that intervention, Tino Best. Stay with us. We're taking a break. Back with more.